Hi, it's Coach Tracy, and guess what? I can't wait to talk about this. We are going to talk about beware of scams from affair recovery programs and all the other scam programs and therapists and everybody that's out there that's trying to make money off of you. Okay, so I am going to talk today and tell you that after the D-Day happened, I started watching a lot of YouTube videos on the subject of infidelity. I bought a bunch of books, but I really dug into the videos. I found some that were more helpful than others, and others I found were just a lot of scam programming and too much religion, a lot of groups masquerading as affair recovery groups. So affair recovery is a huge, huge business. It's huge business. So let me just tell you, the statistics are about out of 20% of men, sometimes it depends on the Kinsey report, I think was closer to 30% of men have affairs. And if they're married, it's even higher. Women were slightly less. So for most of my clients are female or women, and they are dealing with a partner or spouse that is man. Okay, so that's just generally how the chips fell. So when I'm talking, that doesn't mean that I'm excluding anybody or that nobody else is welcome. I'm just trying to give you an overall picture of what's happening out there. And because people do know that, it became a trend, and there is a huge trend out there for recovery programs, okay? So it is a really super big business. I find it appalling when businesses take advantage of humans who are suffering. A lot of these programs actually promise that your relationship will be healed if you do their entire weekend retreat. Others will ask you to do private lessons with their gurus. Okay, listen. I'm all for learning and getting help, but if it sounds too good to be true, it pretty much is going to be too good to be true. It is really distressing how these groups frame the betrayed partner or spouse. Many of them take the position that your partner cheated on you. That leads you and me to self-blame. Your partner and my partner cheated on our arrangement. They made a unilateral decision without consulting us. They betrayed our trust. They did it all on their own. There are even gurus, I can hardly say that word, gurus out there like Dr. Laura, who say things like, you need to put some goddamn makeup on and rock his world when he gets home from work. Rock his world is Dr. Laura. If you're not familiar with Dr. Laura, she is a very, I would more say conservative in a lot of ways, but definitely this is her mantra, is that when you get home, when your husband or your partner gets home from work, you should have makeup on and you should sex him when he gets home from work. If she is asking if you need to get more money for groceries, you need to have sex with him. This is a very common thread within Dr. Laura's. Her mantra is, if you aren't having sex with your husband, someone else will. Okay? So it's really disgusting to me because what? I am actually 100% mortified that women are made to feel that if they don't have makeup on or they don't give it up, a wayward spouse is what you're going to get. Who decided that? You don't need makeup unless you want makeup. This is not right. It's anti-women and it's victim shaming and victim blaming. Okay? So there are actually not only scams and not only predatory programs out there. There are predatory and programming, fitness programmings that say things like, affair proof your marriage by getting in shape. Okay, you're not going to be able to affair proof your marriage by you getting into shape, okay? And we will cover that in a whole other episode, I promise. But they want to really focus on the hurting individual. And when you've gone through a trauma, this is absolutely a trauma. Being betrayed is a huge trauma. It is betrayal. It's not, oh, he stepped out on her. It's not limited to a small hurt. He called her a name. No, this is a total freaking betrayal, and it is a nuclear winter to your neurological system. So when you think about these programming out there, they are going ham, trying to garner as many people as they can to commit into their programming. Okay, so let's go on and talk a little bit more about that. There's one very popular affair recovery channel that has a host who was a notorious cheater himself. His videos tell his story of how he was a rock star mega church evangelical preacher. He explained how much he loved the attention from the women in the church. For several years, he was having an affair with his secretary. Eventually, his affair was discovered and he lost his job. Okay, fast forward. Now he's a rock star affair recovery guru who admits he still loves the attention from women. He talks in his videos about how he stays up all night chatting with betrayed women who wish their partner was more like him. He traded one addiction for another. He is still seeking the dopamine. He's still seeking the undivided worship that he enjoyed both as a pastor from his secretary affair partner and from his congregation. I did follow his channel and it took me a while to see through the facade. Eventually, though, it became super apparent to his wife. After years of being featured on the channel, she finally divorced him. Okay, so this actual guru, oh my God, this guy was absolutely unbelievable because this affair recovery program said it was a secular program, which means that it was not based in any religious whatsoever. Although it said, sheepishly said things like, if you are religious, this will be a good fit for you. But if you're not, don't worry about it. They'll say things like God or your higher power or whatever, just to kind of bring it back to that it's okay to use their programming if you are not religious, okay? But what I want to tell you is that a lot of these religious-based programming seep into the secular, but their baseline is that women should be servicing and submitting to their husband because that is the root of most religions, right? I didn't make it up and I don't make the rules, okay? So there's another guru out there who likes to shake things up. She tells the world that cheating is good for a marriage. That the men cheat when they have a midlife crisis, when they lose a parent, when they're stressed. Oh no, when they're stressed. Or when basically the wind blows sideways, when they get stressed or when the wind blows sideways, it's there. That's just the way it is. And she suggests that it's normal and we have to accept it as normal. And I really, really hated how so many cheaters on her YouTube channel just co-signed on that. And they just really wanted their women to fall in line. And they were following her philosophies because they felt like it was justified. It is so sketchy out there. Okay, so my sincerest recommendation is that you take what you can from the things that you connect with and work very closely with me or your therapist. You don't have to have a therapist because you and I can connect with a lot of this information, but I do suggest that you have an actual therapist or psychiatrist or counselor. I am a coach and I am here to help you with the day-to-day, the accountability, the things that will help you to move the needle forward in healing. And so I want you to know that. And this is a super important topic.